I switch into English because it will be easier for me. So my story will be quite short. It will be about how is it living a dream, right? So everybody here has a dream, and it can be like too long, far away. Could be short, like I want to buy a car or something like this. But sometimes dream is like it's not even shaped. It's something like global. I mean, my dream is to be permanently happy. I mean, I think it's quite simple, but of course it includes a lot of different stuff. So on different stage of our life, we realize that we need to do some changes in order to achieve our mission, like to be happy as well. I mean, situations are changing, our demands, we grow, we change, we're getting old and different kind of stuff. They change how we live. And one point in my life, I decided to become entrepreneur. I was 19-year-old boy, and I thought like, oh, cool, I want to do that stuff, but I mean, I cannot just go and nobody wants to hire me, so I'll do it myself. And it was the beginning of the path. So I want to tell the story in general, like my experience in Sweden, but I will stick to basically my lessons learned. I think I'm too young to give advices, that's why I can just share my experiences. It's like lessons learned. And I have a list of 12 lessons I learned so far. I think the list will be a little bit bigger when I finally grow up. But just for example, I can say, I mean, the positive thinking is the key anyway. Won't say a while till further. So that's already the finish of the story will be if I would miss the whole thing. But example, every Christmas I have the same wish every day, and I always get it. It's like a personal achievement, like getting Christmas gift you want always, because I wish to live immortally. I want to be immortal, and every Christmas I'm still alive, happy, and I get it every year. So this is a practical sense how you can tune yourself to actually deliver and do this stuff and like be happy and proud and stuff. But how did I come to this dream to just be happy, as simple as it is? First, it's important to know yourself, of course. So first lesson I learned, I realized that I really don't know about myself. Shit, like who am I? I mean, what am I supposed to do? And once when I was a schoolboy, maybe 10th grade, so 16-year-old, I realized that I'm missing something in communication with people. I was quite shy boy, so I was a good student, like spending a lot of time of like playing football, learning, but I was really shy. I mean, you wouldn't believe me now, right? That I was a shy boy. And I realized that it's actually the breaking point that is holding me. It's not letting me achieve what I want, to communicate with people I want, because I'm just shy to just come say, oh, hi. I couldn't do this. I mean, I had to like, okay, could somebody introduce me, or okay, so what I've done, every morning in the subway when sleepy people are going to office, and I had like 11.5 minutes every morning, I was coming first to like grandmas and grandpas, like just asking how's the weather or how to get to some station, random topic, absolutely. Well, in half a year I was actually meeting all the student girls already, so it was a long path from grandmas to just come to the ones you really want to meet. So, but it was like half a year self-practice, and I was totally uncomfortable every time, until I start to say like, oh, what's the problem? I mean, people can communicate, so why shouldn't I? I mean, what's the problem? So lesson number one, knowing yourself. That's really important. Then, of course, I mean, since I started to get more stuff and more things were happening, and like the total speed of the stuff was much faster. I entered university and a lot of stuff there, got my job, started my first company. And I realized what was the key of me actually doing all this. Not just because I was bored, I was never bored, but I was just curious. So, and people have to be curious all the life. It doesn't matter how much you know, what did you achieve, who you are, you have to be curious, otherwise you get bored. That's essential thing. And I was learning a lot of different stuff. So this actually is helping me even today. If I wouldn't be curious, when I would move to Sweden, I would be stuck to my experience that I had before, and just locked in the box. So this is like big speakers say like out of the box thinking, break your templates, but yeah, just be curious. So I think I'm going too fast on the plan. Then there's another thing about, I think everybody spoke about this a lot of time. Another thing which is like a glue of different facts and moments and personal qualities, which is putting things together. This is actually simple as luck. We're all lucky. I think I'm a lucky person. I get luck all the time. I mean, something just gets coincidentally good, and something, even bad things happens for something. So they still bring experiences. So it's important to know where you were lucky and where was your result of work, like to separate those two. normally they come quite mixed, so it's really hard to distinguish where you just get, luck, met some guy who was a key role in your future career, or then another time you just were working for 3 years and then you get an advance in a job. It's a little bit different. You were not lucky in that case. It's just, you got it because you done it. But in this case, when people get too lucky and they think that it was all luck, not the achievement that was, worked hard and stuff, it's important to take responsibility, because it doesn't matter how things come to you, how you get them, work hard or as a gift or luck, you still have to take responsibility over what you do, because we people do stuff and we have to be responsible for them. Now I will just say example when I think I was really lucky. So that time I had my small company, everything was going good, I was getting enough money and I was pretty happy, pretty busy, everything was fine. Young years, I even had time for parties, but it was normally like from 4 to 6 a.m. because 6:30 I had to wake up, so it was quite tight schedule. And once I was just going from Ukrainian Fashion Week, in a suit with a girl like this, and they get a phone call, and they just said, "Oh, Maxim, what are you doing?" And a random girl, I don't know her, lady, just calling my phone. Okay, and she said, "Could you be in our office like in 1 hour?" I said, "Like, are you kidding? Evening, in 1 hour, in the office? What are you talking about? Come on." And she said, "But there is a small telecom Finnish company who is interested to talk to you, and they are already here, and well, we didn't have time to plan, so could you please?" So it was Nokia. And I said, "Well, I take the challenge. That's fine. In 1 hour in the office, I'll be there in 45. Like, okay," said goodbye to the girl, subway, and I was there. Well, 1 month of interviews, eight interviews with all the management I could imagine. They didn't want to take risk to take so young guy to this role, because role was quite senior comparable. So they took me, and I think I was just lucky. And coincidence how they knew about me, why did they call me? I was not super fancy guy, I was just a student, making my small business like IT services. It was nothing super special about me that time. But once, one of my friends just did ask me to follow her to the interview, because she wanted a job, but she was too shy to go there alone. She just wanted a company, and just filled in the form, same as she did. And I get rejected because I was overqualified for the job, because I was like filling in the database. And I just forgot about it. So she got a job, everybody is happy, I helped my friend, that's okay. In 2 years, they found my paper, and one of the ladies who was interviewing me at that time just reminded. So that's a pure luck. But after this, of course, it started quite tough work, because it was a totally new life, totally new kind of job, and a lot of challenges. And then, about taking responsibility, I was always taking responsibility on myself, even though that time my job was responsible kind of, but I was not responsible for many resources. It was just a specialist position, not a management. But since I was taking it serious, in 1.5 years I was already climbing, grabbing projects internationally in my department and stuff like this. So in 2 years I was a manager. In 4 years I was a senior PM at the same regional level in the same company. So, and it's not a lot, that's already was hard work. And it's good for me to understand that getting there was luck, hard work, the rest. Then, corporate life sucks. That's what I think now, and I would be gladly back to that life, but luckily in my own company. But it sucks because you don't have that enough freedom to do the stuff you want. But of course, if you don't have this ambition, to like fix the world in a different way, then it's a cool place to be, everything organized, stable and stuff. But of course I ended up with corporate wars, like with management, somebody wanted the position, but I was always not money motivated. And this is another key how to build up career and do things more, to do not put like money and the result that comes anyway if you go the way as the main mission. So my mission was just to do something important. I just wanted to do stuff that matters, then when I lead this department at regional level, I could affect things. So I was, influencing some stuff, people get job, so I was firing as well. So it was super funny. But I forgot about one thing. After many years in those corporate stuff, and like 2009 I had like 50 flights, so I was traveling pretty much. I forgot about really vital thing, about which you should never forget. Whatever challenges you have, whatever difficulties, whatever happens, do not forget about personal life. If you're searching for a job actively, if you have some troubles, if you have a lot of work, even if you're just partying, but if you forget about your feelings, sensual side, that it will be a problem once a year. So it will come and it will like hit, and then the career, everything else would not matter. It would just fold you back, and like everything wouldn't matter at that time, like depression and stuff. I didn't get so far there, but I was that close. And now I appreciate actually when myself I'm taking out from the, activities, routines, and what I have to do. Just say like, okay, I mean, you should meet your friends, you should like go to party, you should go for a date, and this kind of stuff. So it's really important. What's next? Another thing that I actually saw later on in this corporate life, which was quite important lesson to learn, is to face your enemy. It's part of like taking responsibility, but so often, especially here in Sweden, it's my personal lesson about like Swedish mentality, that they don't want to stand in front of you and argue on some topic. They would prefer to strike you from the back if it's important to fix the problem. I mean about business world, not about private relations. Or they will just keep calm and silent, and problem wouldn't be solved. But I see that in Sweden really a big thing, and I think everybody sees that. But even back to Ukraine or all over Europe, when I was working in these companies, what I faced that it's really important. Do not wait until the conflict will grow high. Just come straight to the face. I mean, friend and enemy both need attention, like to face the problem and solve it. So that was my personal goal once when I knew the problem was big, and I couldn't just come up to like really like senior person, like almost the owner of the company, huge, and just say like, sorry mate, you're totally wrong, your strategy sucks and you're an idiot. I mean, how to do that? Because you get fired, you get like problems and stuff. But I actually had to do that because it really mattered for me to fix the problem. And I just came and said like, okay, you were writing this email and everybody was saying that it's a fun idea. I don't think so. It sucks. You suck. Sorry. And I get actually advance in job for the next title in 1 month after this. So it was kind of okay. So because he said that I was like not that smart to do that, but he said that you're brave and you can fix other stuff as well. So this is one of the lessons which was kind of funny to learn. But then, of course, I was a little bit tired of this corporate life, and I think everybody does that and comes to the point when, of course, everybody wants, small company or cafeteria or something like some business, some project or some hobby. It could be it's not a mandatory job or something. Some hobby, some activity that is, bringing you inspiration and where you can put energy and actually get the response. Because everything in this world is like dual. So whatever you give, you take back. Same with hobbies. Same was helping people. But for me it was that I always had this small company that I started 19-year-old. So it was ongoing in parallel, small web studio and stuff like this. But I wanted to concentrate and build up something my own, new and totally in different world. So I wanted to change environment pretty dramatically, like jumping into like this entrepreneurial life, but fully, not like combining. Like I gotta do that. But since I was working all the time with in big companies and with European companies, sometimes US, but mostly in this like Western world environment. Of course, my mission was to build up something that would include my experience, because we have to do things where we're good at. So otherwise we have to learn, and of course learning all the time. And I thought like, where the hell should I travel? I mean, I saw some countries and I like it there and there. And one of the things that came to me is, of course, like market study, just speaking to people, just going again, seeing how people live, talk to them. And then I had like 3 options basically within Europe where I wanted to move. Why actually I decided to move? Not because of the company. I could do a company in Ukraine. I had one. So what's the problem registering another one? The thing is that, of course, I wanted to use our Ukrainian super outsourcing. And of course, I was in that business already for quite a while, so for me it was comfortable. But just selling time is just selling, and I don't like selling. So I don't enjoy like just finding another customer. That's not really why I made it. I made it to create some stuff, to be in the process of creating some things. And of course, I wanted money. I mean, who doesn't like money? And at that point, I realized that if I would stay in Ukraine and do the company there, it wouldn't make sense, because there's somebody would be on the other side of the border and like creating stuff, and we will just implement them. So implementing and creating is two different things. So I've chosen creating that. So yeah, I moved. And the story was quite funny from how I moved. I will tell a short story about two events. So I had farewell party in Kiev. So I was saying like I'm moving forever. Goodbye, friends. I'll never see you again. So dramatic. And they made me a farewell party. It was like a quite cool restaurant with a lot of surprises from the guests. Like it was songs, dancing, like some gifts. I mean, it was insane party. It was just crazy. And when I was working in one American company as a manager, I was quite bored. So maybe more than 2 years before I moved here, my hobby was organizing events, but not events like, you know, in a classical way, like event agency or so. We were just doing cool stuff. So for example, like sitting in a bar with friends and like, oh, let's make some cool event. And my hobby is photography. So of course it was some of them were photographers say like, yeah, photo party. And somebody is musician sitting next to us like, no, music party. And you know, different people. Then I was organizing them and we were making like photo, music, fashion, everything party, you know. And zero budget, no sponsors, it was just fun. So we were like delivering events not longer than 1 month from the planning date to when we made it. It was super popular, you know, central locations, me with microphone on stage, you know, a lot of girls, cameras, you know, musicians, 4 bands in the evening, everybody got fun, you know. So of course, when it was my farewell party, I was not organizing the same for myself because I felt like, okay, I mean, I can just invite people to some place, but I was predictive because I told the restaurant owner that they'd better put booking on all the tables because there might be few people because I didn't know who will come. So this loud party, you know, like dresses, suits, all super fancy, cool, funny, in a week. Just 1 week from there, I'm standing 250 kilometers from here up north in this working cloth, you know, this green jacket with reflectors, like this in the snow, with a guest chainsaw and cutting the birch to bring it later on to ATV and put the firewood home. So that was kind of a change, you know, and it was another lesson learned. It was question yourself what is next. So at every point of your life where you are, it's impossible to predict what's gonna happen like in 5 seconds. Until I have to finish. But you can always question yourself where you want to go. So my decision to move to Sweden was quite, you know, kind of change. I don't think it was something super big or adventurous stuff because it was basically planned. But it was important for me to know where I want to belong to. Where's my place, what's my mission, what's my goal. So it's again, you know, all these lessons learned are combined and connected. So yeah, this chainsaw lesson was pretty cool because, you know, I get used to have, well, pretty much money. I mean, in Nokia management position, it was good salary, you know, insurances, travels, like it's a comfortable life, especially in Kiev, getting paid, you know, in US dollars, this amount. I mean, I was a happy kid, you know, so it was super cool. But this, you know, comfort life, to change it to like forest and, you know, standing with chainsaw and living like somewhere outside of small city Söderhamn with 15,000 people, me who get used to be, you know, in a crowd all the time, how is possible? Sometimes we need to keep things simple. So keep it simple. Attitude to some stuff, when, you know, when we think a lot about something important, we're like pushing them like, you know, more and more, keeping it harder, thinking like, oh, what if I do this way or this way? It's good to analyze, yes, but sometimes you need just to go to the balcony, look at the birds and say like, I mean, let's take it simple, yes or no, yeah, and just do or not. You know, keep it simple. Things, especially decision making, sometimes brings us to, you know, many circles of like overthinking, digging ourselves. Sometimes you shouldn't do that. So that's my own lesson learned. One more thing, cutting forest was not my job actually. It was for myself because I lived in a house and we need firewood just to, you know, do not freeze there. I mean, it's quite warm in the winter in Sweden. But of course I had to find my customers. And by coincidence, the partner who lived in the city while I moved there, it was my ex-colleague in Nokia, he didn't do anything because he got a new title, he had to travel, so I was all alone. Maxim moved to Sweden. Welcome, yeah, and silence, you know, just, yeah, in silence, I'm in the forest, and how do I, you know, make a company move? I mean, I'm registered, and what? Yeah, I can write emails, yeah, I can call by phone, And what? Where to run? So this was kind of difficult moment. So it was quite long one, but I thought, of course, I need to find some job, some clients, and I would do this in parallel. I was sending like tons of emails. I was calling like everywhere. Welcome. So I was writing those tons of emails. I was calling everywhere. Basically, I was spending like 8 to 10 hours a day for this stuff. And of course, I was like still in this position that I was holding before. It's just 1/3 left. Of course, I was still in that, position. Like I'm a manager, I'm cool, I will get a job, and this kind of stuff. No shit. So keep it simple lesson was actually related to that. Like, take it easy, Max. That was I was telling to myself. And then we come to another moment. No matter what, find time for yourself. Because I was so into this process that, as I mentioned before, the personal life, but also finding time for yourself. Like, that's what I don't do now, for example. Like, eating on time, have enough sleep, these routines or other important things that you do, but time for yourself is really important. Otherwise, you're just blown away pretty fast. Then, next one, really important, and the one I would like to share with everybody every time and hug each one individually, is like, whatever things happen, there is always some downside and there is positive thing. Concentrate on positive. I mean, negative thinking never solves the problem. Negative thinking helps you to find the problem, but never solve it. So be positive, friendly, funny. It's much more fun from life when you have this attitude, because you solve more problems, you're merrier, happy people around you, and of course help. Help people whenever you can. I don't mean giving money to the guys who are like, Shena. It's like personal decision for everybody if you want to do so. I meant just, simple advice, simple thing. I mean, share something. I mean, for example, if my friend is hungry and I have banana in my bag, I will give banana. I mean, as simple as that. It could be something bigger. It could be something more important for the person, not on the simple level, but it's really important to just be helpful, because it will come back to you pretty fast. You won't expect how fast it works. I mean, I got a lot of help in my life. People just coming and helping me. I don't know why. I never ask, actually. Because it's a good lesson to learn from all the people who help us, just to do the same. I'm getting close. And then, of course, I spent some time, build up some contacts. The companies were like up and down. The first years are always difficult. And then suddenly it started to be, good. So like, finally, a little bit stability. It's never stability enough, but a little bit stability, so some success. So I was pretty happy on the third year. But then, looking back on all the problems we had, I discovered, of course, quite easy to get, and big thing is, of course, dealing with partners. Not always partners, could be customers, but all the stakeholders that they deal with. So it's anger management. That's really an important part, because like today morning, it was freaking out discussion. So I had like 2 hours of emailing and chatting with 2 of my partners. Was like, I mean, I was already sent so far, so if I would be there, I would never come back. And at this moment, I mean, I'm an emotional person. So when people are annoying me, I'm quite honest, so I can just shoot back, and sometimes multiplying it on my personal emotions. So basically what I could do is just call him and like say whatever I thought about all his family and all. But the good thing was that I was there already, not a single time. And there is a thing called first entrepreneur pain. When you have to pay salary to your guys and you have no money, for example. There are different kind of stressful things that are bringing you to the next level. So once I get this anger management thing, is like, first I was listening, saying, yeah, you idiot, absolutely, yes. And then when the person comes down, no text, personal meeting, face to face. I mean, I cannot name even a single partner that I had over the years who would say me the same to the face what he wrote. Never. But it's important to do not react first and then think how to manage the situation. So anger management is quite vital. Well, I use it only at work. So in private life, I'm quite explosive. And yeah, I mentioned about first entrepreneur pain. There is a simple rule. Don't bet more than you can lose. It's a quite, it sounds pretty, sorry for that. One left. It's so easy to do this. I mean, when you have a flow of things and you trying to reach something, and they say like, okay, I can take it here from there, and yeah, it will work. And then suddenly something gets broken, and you lose everything. Everything gets broken. So don't ever bet more than you can lose, like easily. And the last one, my favorite. It's be weird, be yourself, because you are the brand. Doesn't matter what you do, are you an entrepreneur, or you're just a person, you know, having fun and meeting people in nightclub. Whoever you are, be yourself. This keeps people open. Open means accessible. That means people want to meet you, want to talk to you, and want to be social. Or other way around, but you will know it for sure. It's more important to know what's the attitude instead of just, you know, guessing and betting and stuff like this. So this was my quite short speech, like plus 5 minutes. But yeah, 12 lessons I learned so far, and I think I will have quite more of those quite soon. And if you can share your lessons to me, you're welcome.
Maybe one question, but
Якщо є.
якщо є раптом. До речі, українську всі розуміють? Мастер